For my 10 a.m. class, I would wake up at 4. Jeez. What is good, YouTube fam? It is JP Buffett here, and I have a very interesting story for you. So this story actually comes from Flyer Talk, so I have it over here on my computer. But basically, the story is talking about a guy who decided to, instead of moving to San Francisco, he decided to rather stay in Los Angeles and fly to San Francisco for his classes. So the story came from Flyer Talk, but it was actually from a Reddit post. So I'm going to actually read that Reddit post in here and kind of react to it and give you my take on this, probably this craziness, because it has to be astronomical how much it costs. But let me get into it. So yeah, in the post it is titled, "I survived living in LA and commuting to Cal by plane over the past academic year to save rent. Ask me anything." That is crazy by itself. You know, for anybody who does not know, Cal is UC Berkeley, which is in San Francisco, and the distance between LA and San Francisco is about, I think, over 400 miles. So yeah, that's not a very, it's not a very short commuter distance. But let's see what this person has to say. So they start off by saying basically how, they were asking Reddit how to move from, or how to, commute from LA to San Francisco, and everybody was telling them not to do it, which I would say the same thing. It's crazy to do it. It sounds super expensive, but they did it. So they give a little background. So they say, "I was living in LA comfortably. I got accepted to a 1-year mechanical engineering program. It was from August 2022 to May 2023. And I knew that the person knew they were going back to LA after graduation." So they knew that they wanted to basically live in LA, and San Francisco was going to be temporary. And anybody who knows anything about San Francisco, it is super expensive. So to uproot yourself from LA to move to San Francisco, that might be a bit much. So I can see where they're coming from with that. But yeah, they said, they're going to go work back with their previous employer after they graduate. So they love flying, which, all of us here, at JP Buffett on my channel, we all love flying. So that's good to know. I love flying a lot, and I have a lot of frequent flyer miles and points. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. They have some points. They saved some points from credit card sign-up bonuses and flying over the past few years. So they got a little bit of a stash saved up. So hopefully this actually goes pretty well. They say Bay Area rent is expensive in general, and my program was only 10 months. So I thought I can get there by commuting through plane. You have to have a lot of points saved up to think you can commute through plane. Because I actually have to look up. Let me look up how much a flight from LA to San Francisco is. Give me 1 second. All right, so I just looked it up. I'm gonna put it on the screen now. I just chose a random time. So I chose Friday, September 15th through Tuesday, September 19th. This is all 2023. And I found there's some pretty reasonable prices, especially with Delta. They're able to get prices for $108 round trip. So I'm not sure if this person was going every single day or whatnot. I got to get through that part for how they break it down. But $108, it might actually be doable. And it's about an hour and a half flight time. You got to think about the time to get to the airport and all that. So I'm roughly saying about maybe 2.5, 3 hours from door to door. But yeah, let's see how this continues on. So they checked the classes and from the previous year, and they said I only needed to commute to the campus 3 times a week. And that was the only way they can make it work. There have been a couple of weeks I commuted to school by plane 5 times a week, and I felt so exhausted. So this is, okay, so you're going to class every single day. So let's just say that you're going to class, given what we had, you're going to class every single day. That is about $500 a week if you're going every single day, and $300 a week if you're going 3 days a week. Wow, that's 10 months. How long is 10 months? Like 40 weeks? 10 months, 40 weeks? Like 4 times 300? Yeah, $12,000. I would assume, but let's keep reading. But yeah, they said they felt exhausted if they went 5 times a week. So here is the plan. This is the meat and bones of what meat and potatoes, of what they're talking about. I booked all my tickets for fall 2022 back in April and May of 2022. Then I booked all my tickets for spring 2023 back in November of 2022. So they basically broke up their fall and spring semester. So they knew exactly when they would be flying. Most tickets were booked using Alaska Miles or Southwest points. And I rebooked them during sales to further cut down the cost. So this is actually a pretty important part that I want to stop for a second. A lot of people don't know that you can actually just rebook with points. There's no, at least as far as I can tell, there's no real penalty for that. So if you see a better deal and you have the points, just cancel the flight or basically change up the flight, reschedule it, and get those points back so you can move that. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that part, but I do believe you can just basically cancel the flight, get the points back, and do that again. But let's keep going. So you mainly use a Southwest and Alaska Miles. I usually only come to campus Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but in cases I needed to come to campus for events or meetings, they would go in on Tuesday, Thursday. I booked tickets for Tuesday, Thursday in advance as well. If I need to come to campus that Tuesday, Thursday, if I don't need to come to campus that Tuesday or Thursday, I just cancel the tickets the night before and get a full refund. So there you go. Basically, you get a full refund if you cancel those tickets using points. I had elite status with Alaska and Southwest. Both offer a valuable perks called same day change. I always book the cheapest flight on that day, and then call them. I always book the cheapest flight of that day and call them when the check-in window opens to change to another flight on that day for free of charge. So that's interesting. So basically, they would book a flight, the cheapest flight, and then they would so they have stats with Alaska and Southwest, so they would book this cheapest flight and then change over the day of for another flight, and I guess that would save them some money. That's pretty smart. I'm learning a lot from this person right here. This is some good stuff. Both airlines had a robust schedule between LA and the Bay Area, San Francisco area, which makes sense. Southwest and Alaska are both West Coast airlines.
Off to the West Coast. All right, see you.
Alaska being headquartered in, I believe, Seattle, and I'm not exactly sure where Southwest is headquartered. I think it's in Texas, but I'm not exactly sure. I had to look that one up. But yeah, let's keep going on. Yeah, both airlines have robust I can even switch co-terminals. So basically, other terminals besides SFO, which is the main terminal coming out of San Francisco. They will use other terminals like the San Jose terminal and also the one coming out of Oakland, and that was all free of charge. So that's their planning. They literally planned out their fall semester basically the April before, and their their spring semester the November basically before they start. And they had a lot of different changes here. This is really nice. I mean, if you really want to, learn something about, flying and changing flights, we got our boy right here. I mean, I say our boy. I actually don't know. Let me see the name of what's it called, this person. But yeah, I can't really pronounce their name. But yeah, if you want to, want to do something, you can learn from our Reddit user here. Hey, this is a way to get around it. But yeah, let's keep going. So let's go into their typical trip. So basically their day-to-day trip, what they did. So typically for my fall semester, my first class was at 10 a.m. On Mondays and Wednesdays and 8 a.m. on Friday. So I had to be there really early, apparently. For my 10 a.m. class, I would wake up at 3:40 in the morning to take a 6 a.m. LAX to SFO Alaska flight, have breakfast at SFO Lounge, and then ride the BART to campus. For the 8 a.m. class, I would always wake up at I will always wake up at 3:30 in the morning to take the 5:30 a.m. LAX to Oakland Southwest flight, since that was the only flight that would give me to campus at 8 a.m. For my spring semester, my first class was at 11 a.m. on Monday, 12 p.m. on Wednesday and Friday. I usually wake up at 5:40 to take the 8:20 LAX to Oakland Southwest flight for all of them. That is much better than waking up at 3:30 in the morning. I know it's only a 2-hour difference, but trust me, if the older you get, the harder it is to wake up this early. But you know, it is what it is. They made it through. But yeah, we're gonna keep going. So for the flight back to LA, it varies. If I was hanging out with friends or working on homework projects or with the cohort for a bit longer in the library, I would take the last flight home. So remember, they were able to do a same day change. So they're able to like flip-flop of where they want to have their flights back and forth to. But yeah, they would take the last flight home 9:05 p.m. Oakland to LAX on Southwest, or 10:30 p.m. SFO to LAX on Alaska. So I'm wondering, I'm actually wondering now, if you are the classmate or you are the peer of this person and they are saying, oh, I gotta go home real quick. Oh yeah. No, I gotta go back to LA. Excuse me? Coming in? What? No. You mean down? No, I gotta go back to LA. This to me is insane. If you were my classmate and you told me that you were doing this, I would think either you're super rich or you're outside your mind. But we can see our person here is using points and miles. That's why, your points and miles, they can get you far. They can get you to and from class, apparently. And I honestly wonder how much money this person saved. I think I read on the Flyer Talk thing, they saved a good chunk of change. But let's keep on reading to see what happens. So yeah, they basically door to door. Oh, a little bit longer than I said. Door to door is about 4 to 5 hours each way. So that is a long day. That's a really long day. So they had a lot of time on their commute. So now we're getting into the cost of what everything cost them. So for the fall 2022 cost, it was $3,812.83. That was with $563.80 in BART, $370 in parking, $1,033.75 in gas, $39.96 in in-flight Wi-Fi, $1,366.06 on Alaska, 307,500 Alaska miles. That's a lot of Alaska miles. Aren't easy to get. All right, they're not the easiest miles to get. Alaska miles are pretty difficult to get. So that's a lot of Alaska miles. $380.86 on Southwest, 43,732 Southwest points, which when you think about the two, they must have been flying Alaska predominantly, because that's not that many Southwest points or that much money even used in Southwest. That is crazy. $42.80 on United, 5,500 United miles. So they did use United also. They had $15.60 on Avianca, and 6,500 Avianca points. Oh, I said it like that. Avianca points. So there's other points currencies they're using. They predominantly use Alaska and Southwest, but they are also using other currencies. So they had 63 trips in total, 138 flights, 55,593 miles flown. Wow. Spent 45,972 minutes in their commute, equivalent to 31.93 24-hour days. So basically, they spent an entire month. They spent an entire month commuting. That is wild. Listen, hat is off. If I had it, I take my bandana off. My hair looks terrible, so I can't show you my big shiny head. But bandana off, hats off. That's something. Wow. So let's go to spring. So spring, excluding the last trip for commencement, because they drove. Wow. They drove the last. So for commencement, they're gonna drive. All the other times they're gonna fly. That's what you got to do. Why not just fly the last time? Hey, maybe they ran out of points. I don't know. I'm not gonna judge. But I couldn't do this. Yeah, so for the spring 2023, they had $1,779.82, which is basically pretty much like, I guess, about half of what they spent, or maybe a little bit less than half what they spent for this fall semester. That's interesting. But yeah, they spent $107 basically on BART, $150 on parking, $914 on gas. No in-flight Wi-Fi. I guess they said screw that. $186 on Alaska. 100,000 Alaska miles. Jesus Christ. $377 on Southwest. 113,213 Southwest points. So there's the back end of Southwest points. $28.50 on United. No United miles. $15.90 on Spirit. Well, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. You run out of miles, you gotta take Spirit sometime, I guess. I knew Spirit, some budget airline was gonna come in there eventually. I mean, people call Southwest a budget, but no, Southwest, they're cool. They're cool. I like Southwest. Yeah, 100 flights. 100 flights. That's 38 flights less than the fall. It's a lot less. It's a lot more cheaper. It's crazy. You think about it. Like, there's only 38 less flights, and that's the price difference. 36,496 miles flown. All right. They spent 29,983 minutes on their commute. That totaled it totaled equivalent to 20.82 24-hour days. So basically, they spent in the spring about 21 days door to door just commuting. That's listen, hey, do what you got to do. The prices it must be expensive. No, San Francisco is expensive. So I'm guessing they spent what total here. The total cost they spent was I'm not gonna read all the what's it called, but the total cost they spent was about $55,000. $5,500 total. And yeah, and I think somewhere in the Flyer Talk article that said that the housing cost by itself for being at Berkeley was $19,000. So that is a difference. That is a savings. I don't know what the point differential would be, but that is a savings of about $15,000 if that is the case. Maybe more than that, because you got to think about the food and everything else on top, and they get to keep the house. That is crazy. So I'm just gonna finish this out. This is probably one of the craziest things I have done in my life. So I am glad I made it through without missing any classes. It is itself a miracle. I wouldn't recommend anybody attempt. I wouldn't recommend anybody attempt this. I wouldn't either, at all, unless you got 400,000 Alaska miles and 156,000 Southwest points. I wouldn't recommend it either. Don't do it. Not recommended. Don't try this at home. But yeah, and it says, if you have any questions, ask away. Go Bears. Actually, go Bruins. You got UCLA alumni right here. If you're a UCLA alumni, let me know in the comments. But yeah, this is wild. This is a wild story. I mean, my hat is off to this person for being able to do this. They saved a lot of money. If you told me that you were doing this, I would say you are crazy. I would think you are absolutely crazy for doing something like this. But they were able to pull it off, and they showed that it is possible if you have the points and if you have the tolerance. I think it's like more than a month and a half commuting. If you have the tolerance for that, and like, what's the trade-off? The trade-off is you're not around your peers, you're not, immersed in San Francisco life, but you get to keep your house in LA. You get to stay at the same job. There's no really uprooting, anything like that. And I think this is a great way to see the value of points without looking at the cent per point. I think that's the big takeaway I have here. I think in the community, we're always talking about the value we get. I guess you could say cents per point somehow because you're, the cost of the entire the tuition is like $19K, so this is still that value difference. So I guess I'm wrong in that sense, but still, you can use your points in many different ways, and we can travel in many different ways. And I think how we travel and like the ways we find to travel, be it going to school, be it going to visit a new place, to learn new things, to learn what we can do. I think this is a great testament to that. So yeah, again, hats off to that person for doing this. I will leave a link in the description for the Reddit story, and plus for the Flyer Talk article where I originally got this from. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Would you see yourself doing something like this, or do you think this is super crazy? This is crazy as hell to me. But yeah, if this is something you would want to attempt or wish you could have attempted, please let me know down in the comments. Also, if you are new here and enjoy videos related to points, miles, and the travel centric vlogs, please show the subscribe button some love. Don't hit it, just click it. And of course, guys, until next time, peace.